And what is up? Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you guys are watching this from the 214 Sports Show. I'm tj.krilowic right here. We have Courtney Machani and Joseph Duffy to my left and right, or bottom and top. I don't know, man. They're somewhere on the screen. Um, we got a good episode today, of course. It's the first episode of the New Year's. We're going to have to talk about the Cowboys, and they're surprisingly getting to the second seed of the NFC or the NFC conference. We also are going to talk about, of course, the Mavericks and Stars since they're in season, and just a little bit about the Rangers. We got a lot of stuff this podcast. So thank you, Joe.
He's screaming, bro. He's just screaming at the top of his lungs.
Is there like any crazy games going on right now? Like soccer?
No,
is he a soccer fan? 1026?
We got some office chairs and we're getting him moved in exactly at this time, bro. So he was about to move it up here. Like with the movers were coming and they're about to move it up here upstairs. And I was like, I gotta record my podcast. I saw this like last night. And he's like, well, okay, I'll have him sit over here in the side. But he's yelling at them from inside and outside the house. So I turned down that gain real quick.
We got a general, man. He's a quarterback. He's a quarterback.
They can join the podcast too.
That'd be crazy. Yeah. That'd be crazy in the background, having them like sit up the chair, walk up here. That'd be crazy.
So we have a our 2024 for sports wise has not been that good for Dallas sports. And of course, insult the injury, we're all Longhorns, so that doesn't help either. But I mean, you have the Mavericks who lost to the Jazz by almost 40 points now after beating them by 50 in November with a pretty almost completely healthy roster as well now. Of course, the Stars losing to the Canadians last night. Not a good look for that as well. Canadians are not a playoff team. But we're going to start off with something positive, at least, on today's date, something that a lot of Cowboys fans and a lot of Dallas sports fans remember. A lot of people outside of Cowboys Nation do not like this game. But on today's date, on January 4th of 2015, the Dallas Cowboys defeated the Detroit Lions in the NFC wildcard round to advance to the divisional round where they would play the Green Bay Packers. We know how that game went. We won't talk about that. Despite falling down 14-0 and punting on their first 4 drives, the Cowboys rallied back behind the Romo and Terrence Williams connection. They got 2 touchdowns in the game, including the game-winning touchdown with 2:32 to go in the fourth. This was their first playoff victory in 5 years and will be their last until 2018. Tony Romo was sacked 6 times this game, but still threw 2 touchdowns, threw for 293 yards. DeMarco Murray had 19 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown. And Terrence Williams had 92 yards to go with his touchdown, with his 2 touchdowns, which one was a 76-yarder as well. Cole Beasley, Jason Witten followed him with 63 yards each. J.J. Wilcox led the team with 7 tackles. Kyle Wilbur had an interception as well. And also, DeMarcus Lawrence had a breakout game, basically. Didn't do much that rookie year, but in that playoff game, got a fumble in the beginning of the drive, then fumbled it again, gave it back to Detroit, but then got it back and got another fumble recovery later in that drive to seal the game for the Cowboys. Pretty crazy ending of a game. Let's not talk about the other part of the ending of that game. So I mean, pretty fun memory, I guess. Pretty fun.
Yeah, Lions fans are making some similarities. Go ahead.
We gotta mention it though. Like, do y'all think that was like? Be real. Like, do y'all think that was PI?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
It looked like PI.
Yeah,
it looked like PI, but I mean, some things just don't get called last second. 2016 Green Bay game, there was a holding on that Jerry, the Cook catch, the sideline toe tap. So I mean,
how about that name?
Trust me, I know Max fans. Some things just don't get called, man.
Bro, I wish I could have seen your reaction during that Rams NFC Championship game. I was sick for y'all.
No worries, bro. I was stunned. I don't think I said anything the rest of the day. I understand the implications of it, though. I understand like that we really because remember we still got the ball in OT and Drew Brees to a pick to Marcus Peters. So I still thought we could win because we was looking on that team. And then when that happened, like you seen the Homelander meme when he's just staring, and like that's how I felt.
With the
So
white
sad,
noise,
bro.
just looking at
Yeah,
in
the
the
white
theater.
noise. That's how I felt, bro.
Oh my! How about those names in the throwback, bro? J.J. Wilcox and Kyle
J.J.
Wilbur.
Wilcox, I know, right?
Oh my gosh!
Insane.
That DeMarcus Lawrence game, that was really his breakout for real, TJ. Like you said it. I remember this game like yesterday, and he was just so young. Look at that game, just still sticking around, which is awesome. But he's still playing at a high level. It's cool to see the impact he had even in 2014. Man, he's gonna be a Cowboy for life. There's no way they'd let him go.
Mm-hmm. So, my trivia question. So we're gonna actually move forward to the Green Bay game. This one's kind of I don't know if this is a good trivia question. I couldn't think of anything. Cowboys trivia questions are kind of hard to ask because I know y'all know a lot. So I want to say, who do you think got the one turnover for the Cowboys against Green Bay in that divisional game? Who do you think got one turnover? It was a fumble on Aaron Rodgers. I believe it was Aaron Rodgers. But we had a defensive player. Because defensive players in 2014, man, I don't know them. I don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
It's a hard question.
I might think about that one.
I'll give you guys a clue real quick if I could pull up some of his information. It's hard. He was known for playing for another team. I know that he was drafted in 2006 from Florida.
Oh, nah.
I'm still cooked.
Played for Jacksonville for a while. That's all I'll say.
Okay, I don't know. Idea, bro.
All right. Okay, cool.
I think I got it.
All right. So, I'm going to share my screen real quick because we're going to play some Weddle. Let me get this going real quick. Before we get into the Cowboys talk, of course, playing the Commanders in that last week. But first, do you see the screen, boys? Can y'all see it? Is it loading?
Still loading.
Damn AT&T Wi-Fi. Come on, bro.
I got AT&T too.
Same.
Yeah.
Bro, what is?
Oh,
okay, there we go. Hey, there we go. All right, who do y'all want to start with now?
Are we on hard? By the way,
no, this is the easy one first. Let's warming up, man. We're warming up.
Let's do some random player on the Saints. No, we already did the Saints.
Yeah, we did.
Let's do a random player on, I don't know.
Baker. I don't know. I'm just thinking of it. Let's go Baker. I don't think we pick quarterbacks a lot. Not a quarterback. Yeah. Not a quarterback. Oof. Bad guys.
6.
So they're 5-4. Number 5-4. They're in the NFC. Ooh. Oh man. We gotta get some names. I'm trying to think. Okay, I got NFC West. I'm thinking of NFC West teams.
I'm trying to think of smaller numbers. Kyler Murray?
No, I can't.
He's not a quarterback.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't think of James Conner. Yeah, I was thinking James Conner.
I don't know if he's less than 6 though, is he?
Yeah, that's a good question. We could put him in real quick.
I've never been good at remembering jersey numbers for some reason. I don't do that. Like, I don't recognize guys by their numbers. Except if they're really, really good.
Oh, he is 6. I didn't know that. Okay. NFC North.
East or North.
Or the NFC East. It'd be funny if it was NFC North or East, but I don't think it is.
It's Devontae Swift. It's Swift. I mean DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre. Oh shoot.
Just type in Swift, I bet.
Yeah.
It said there it is. What?
Oh, NFC North running back. This is dead. Oh, is it a? Oh my gosh! Why am I? Yeah, it's AJ Dillon, isn't it, man? Oh my gosh, this is bad. All right. I gotta start thinking.
We're getting embarrassed.
We are getting embarrassed right now. This is not a good look. So the Vikings, Bears. I mean, it's not. It's
No,
not
I don't
anyone
think
on the
Aaron Jones is
Bears.
in that number.
It's not anyone on.
Ty
Ooh,
Chandler,
Ty
Alexander
Chandler.
Madison,
Mixon?
the
Oh, that's
Vikings. Yeah,
AFC. My
Knicks,
bad. That's
Oh,
AFC.
it's not Gibbs and it's not Montgomery, right? Is Montgomery 5? I think it's David Montgomery actually. Isn't
Go
David
ahead.
Montgomery number 5?
I actually dominated
Oh
the order.
my god.
Ah,
We're getting humiliated.
number 5. That's bad, man. I can't
That's
believe that. He was
crazy.
on my fantasy team
It's pretty
too.
nasty.
All right, let's get it back with the hard mode though. This is always difficult. All right. Who else now? Start with a Cowboys player. We always start with a Cowboys player.
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn.
It's
Yeah.
EU.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god. Why do we do that? Why do we do that?
All right, let's think of someone just an AFC defender. 'Cause I think it's always gonna. I feel like it's always gonna be defense.
Let's do
They always
Denzel
do
Ward. Let's do
defense.
Denzel Ward.
I like it.
AFC North.
There's somebody on the defensive side, somebody relatively older, somebody tall, so it's low number 2. So thinking it's probably could be a safety.
Let's do Cam
Yeah.
Hayward. Cam Hayward.
Yeah, I like that.
It's probably gonna be Cameron Hayward.
The hell?
Oh
I
wait,
think it's H-E.
there it is.
Is it
Cameron.
Hay?
I saw it.
There
I
it
see-
is. Okay.
Bro, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, we
Linebacker.
should cut the NFC North. Let's start about that.
It's
Linebacker.
got to be linebacker or safety. I don't know.
Right, linebacker. Who was
Could be a lot. Could be a. So we got.
But they're
Oh,
34.
It's gotta be a Patriots linebacker, probably. I don't know any of their linebackers at this point. None of them.
yeah, that's a
I don't play for
good.
that team no more.
They're irrelevant now. I don't watch them. No need.
Go Nick Bolton again. That was our last week.
Yeah, Nick Bolton.
What if it was Nick Bolton again?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Someone on the Broncos.
Dude, even them, I don't know.
Somebody
Like
on.
Tranquil.
I
I
don't
think there's
know.
a guy named Tranquil on that team, like TRAN.
oh, I know who you're talking about.
Q.
He's not bad.
No,
I think
TRA.
TRA, Tranquil.
AN.
Hey.
Drew
This
Tranquil.
dude-
Yeah.
Drew spell like that is crazy, man.
It's insane.
That is pretty crazy.
AFC
Not
West
a guess at all,
6-2.
so
Not a linebacker,
I
safety.
think it's a safety. I think it's a safety, low number.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I know
so
you
in
need
the
less
AFC
safeties.
West though, we got the Chargers, Raiders. Oh man,
How
Who
old
is
is
it?
he?
the
Go down real
Broncos.
quick. He's younger than 28. So he's 27
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
he's 27. Low number. Oh man, I did not know these players like
Chief
that.
safety, bro. Chief safety.
No,
he's
no,
not
the
the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
It's
Oh
not-
man.
Oh,
Oh, this
It's
is
not,
bad.
what's his name? It's not Derwin James, but Derwin James, I think, is unless he changed his number. He might have changed his number. You could try Derwin James.
Gonna look him up like this.
No, he was up there. Oh,
Where was he? Oh yeah, Derwin James. Oh, let's go.
there we go.
Derwin
Going
James
two
was
in a row.
on hard mode.
Ooh, yeah, I know, right?
Okay,
Sometimes they
That's crazy.
surprise us, man. But hey, at least
That's
we guessed him, man.
Shout out Derwin James.
We did just as good as we did with the easy mode on hard. So, all right, we got a good Weddle game to start us off. We're gonna jump quickly into Dallas Cowboys talk real quick. The Dallas Cowboys are the number 2 seed in the NFC conference right now. As of right now, they got to beat the Commanders, and if they do beat the Commanders on Sunday, they have a chance to be the 2nd seed, which is just so crazy to me. I can't believe that. That shouldn't be real. Stephen A. Smith said it's highway robbery. I say, stay mad, man. I'm so tired of Stephen A. Smith, bro. I'm so tired of him. It kind of does feel like a little bit of a robbery, but I don't want to hear it from him. So I want to talk about real quick just the hypothetical wild card matchups for the Cowboys. They are guaranteed to play in the wild card. They still have a couple outcomes that can happen. They could be the second seed if they win the game. Obviously, the most simple solution. If they lose and the Eagles lose and the Lions win, which is still a possibility, we could be the third seed. And if, of course, we lose and the Eagles win, we will end up in the fifth seed. So I'm going to say, so for the fifth seed, we can either play Tampa Bay, Atlanta, or New Orleans, most likely going to be Tampa Bay or New Orleans. If we get the third seed, which is not going to be likely, but it could be, we're most likely to play the Rams, but we could also play the Packers. And if we get in the second seed, right now, it's up to the Packers, their own destiny. If they win, they get the seventh seed. If they win and the Rams lose, the Rams get the seventh seed. But you also have Minnesota lurking around and the possibility of the Saints or the Seahawks. Very low odds for those two getting the seventh seed, but still a possibility. So I want to ask y'all, if we are the second seed or the fifth seed, I don't care about the third seed, who are the teams that y'all want to see the most?
Well, as the second seed, actually, I'll start with the fifth seed. Fifth seed,
Yeah, start the
NFC.
fifth seed.
Yeah,
Good on them.
NFC North for sure. I mean, NFC South. So I can play,
Yeah.
that conference, that cupcake division. That cupcake division. But
Cupcake division.
I want to travel somewhere like, I think New Orleans would be fine. I think we can handle any environment too, but I don't know if I like the Bucks. I don't know if I like that. Baker might get been cooking. But going to the second seed, which I did not expect us to have coming into this week, I would rather play the Packers and not the LA Rams. I said this on Crossfire, which is our college debate show that we had, kind of like around the horn at UT. And I said the Rams are going to be a playoff team when they were the 10th spot in the NFC. And I said it was going to be because Matt Stafford is going to wake up. He's going to be this clutch player that we know him to be in this stage. And then also because of Cooper Kupp returning, Puka being dynamic, and then Sean McVay's play calling. It hasn't been really much because of the defense at all. It's because of Kyron Williams' return also, the run game being established again. And guess what? It's going to be playoff football, everything, putting all your chips towards the table. The Rams are going to be dangerous at this time. And I'd rather, dodge them and then play the Jordan Love Packers, which is not Aaron Rodgers at least this time. And and I think we can handle them way more. In either way, I mean, they're going to be dynamic play callers for both squads, but I'm a little worried about Sean McVay and Matt Stafford for some reason. And then even Aaron Donald, who I'm not even talking about right now.
Yeah.
The Rams are going to be a dangerous team. They're going to be dangerous at this point, so I'd rather play the Packers.
Yeah. Just before I just want to say that so we're in the wild cards. The Saints got they got a win against I think we faced the Falcons or some. We faced the Chicago has to beat Green Bay and Arizona has to beat the Seahawks. So it's not out the ordinary for us to get the 7th seed. And then obviously get to win the division. We got to beat the team that we face next week, and Tampa Bay got to lose to Carolina, which I don't know if that's going to happen. But it's still possible. If that does happen, I would love to face the Cowboys. That out of any team, I'm just saying,
Interesting.
Saints environment, New Orleans, like it's rocky in playoff season, so it'll be a great game. I would love to face the Cowboys. I just want to see what happened the week after we got on this podcast, and the Cowboys lose to the Saints. It would be pretty hilarious. But other than fantasy world, if you guys if they end up being the second seed and they face the 7th seed, which is probably going to be the Packers or the Rams. I asked my dad this question actually. He said he'd rather face the Rams because the ghost of Green Bay just haunts him, and I feel like it's the same way for a lot of Cowboys fans. I mean, I know it's not Aaron Rodgers, but you just think about all those games.
Something just kind of riles me up.
It's
gonna hurt either way, bro. Bro, ghost is for either team. Honestly, that Rams loss in 2018, before the Saints game, and then also all the Aaron Rodgers losses. I mean, they both can hurt at some point, but of course the Packers ones will hurt a little bit more.
I think the best scenario for them is still the Packers, obviously, because like you said, the Rams are cooking right now, and Matthew Stafford, I feel like don't get a lot of credit for what he does. I mean, he hasn't really been a playoff performer like that. Obviously, since he was in Detroit, but I feel like he first of all probably wants to get his get back for 2015 or whatever. I think it was 2015, the playoff game we just talked about. And I mean, or 2014. What year? I think it was 2014,
It
right?
was 2015. The game actually happened. I
2015.
think.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah,
Yeah,
2014,
it's
15 season,
2014 season.
2015 year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so definitely wants to get his get back for that. And I mean, he's a underrated quarterback of 2010s in my opinion. So I think he can definitely make another championship run if they have the right pieces together. And I feel like they're kind of finally getting back on track. So I would probably rather face the Green Bay in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Blogging the Boys had a poll for the people who read their blogs and stuff or whatever, I guess. And they asked who are the most, who do you not want to see the most? And I think they said 63% said Rams, 18% said Packers, which I think 18% of those people still think of 2014 and 2016. And honestly, I think it's it's a perfect get back moment for the Cowboys. I mean, the Packers aren't strong this year. This is who they would want to play. The Rams have big plays. They have that playoff experience. That's not going.
Sorry, I knew it was gonna ring. That's crazy,
bro. That scared the shit out of me, man. That alarm, bro. That alarm, really? I feel like we've talked about this before.
It was a spam risk.
He had a circus one. He had a circus one last time.
It was the horn, little clown horn for the text message.
I mean, the Rams got those big plays, dude. I mean, Poku and of course Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford always being that divisional, or being in the playoffs as well, having that experience. Those are recipe for disaster for this Cowboys secondary right now, who's really struggling against some good wide receivers. And the Packers just don't have that kind of firepower. Their defense also just doesn't create turnovers. They're bottom 10 in turnovers. The Packers are also bottom 10 in 40 plus plays, so they don't make big plays really. They're not, which is what the Cowboys' kryptonite is, man. They can give some really big plays up on defense, which really hurts them. I'm looking at this right now, and I think the Packers would be the perfect team to play on the second seed. Having them at home, dominant 8-0 at home this year. I think this is a perfect get back moment for the Cowboys, and also because there's a lot of Green Bay fans in the Dallas area, also in the Austin area for some reason, man. It's just shut them up. It would be good to just shut them up for once and be able to beat them in the playoffs. Obviously, if we're in the 5th seed, I'm actually going to go with Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay would be the more favorable matchup. I know that he's way better, miles better than Derek Carr. Or Baker Mayfield is. But if you look at the stats, man, Baker Mayfield has been sacked 57 times. Or sorry, not 57. I need to look at this real quick. But he's been sacked a good amount of times. They're top 10 in sacks allowed. So I'm looking at this, man. The Cowboys D line could eat up against I said Green Bay could eat up against Tampa Bay. I'm also thinking that just seeing them play last year against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in the playoffs, just dominated. Dak Prescott had a great outing for that. We don't need to talk about Brett Maher. He's not on the team anymore. So, this is, I think this is a favorable matchup for the Cowboys if they were to play in an away game. New Orleans, just kind of difficult to look at because, again, I do think the atmosphere is going to be different in that stadium. Cowboys historically have not played too good in New Orleans. They did win last time they played, but that was because Taysom Hill was probably the quarterback.
That game was crazy.
So I don't know. It's an interesting matchup for the 5th seed. I'm just hoping that we don't have to talk about playing Tampa Bay or New Orleans next week. Obviously, all we have to do is just take care of business against Washington, and we don't have to worry about this. So I do want to get.
It'd be the most Cowboys thing to lose this game, bro.
And especially how 2024 has been going, man.
And also especially how we ended the season last year at Washington. I'm not going to act like we can't just lose this game. Some people want to brush over it.
It's very losable.
Washington just wants a draft pick at this point. There's no way that they're going to come find like they did last year.
They want to screw things up.
The starting job this season. And look, he's already lost it. So
Yeah, it's
We
true.
got Jacoby Brissett starting for the Commanders next week.
Howell
I
played a little
want to
bit.
talk real quick.
I think he
What's
played
up?
last week. I think Howell played last week. Didn't
Howell
he?
did play last week, but he was benched 2 weeks ago. He
Oh,
started and played really bad against the Jets,
I
I
think he threw
believe.
like a whole lot
He
of
got
picks
benched
that game or
like
something like
three
yeah, the
that.
picks, yeah,
yeah.
in like the first half. So,
Mhm.
um, anyways, let's move on. I want to talk about Dalvin Cook getting released by the Jets to join a playoff team. A lot of people are saying that the Dallas Cowboys should go pick him up. I want to hear what y'all want to think. What y'all want to if y'all want to pick up Dalvin Cook. It's an interesting look for sure. I mean, what do y'all think?
I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if we did it. He just doesn't have that juice anymore. And even like red zone efficiency wise, I don't think he's even the guy to help our red zone woes. Um, he's like the same size as Tony, really. I mean, Tony's taller. Dalvin's not even like that much bigger, if we're being honest. And he's also not an insane pass blocker anymore. So if you're looking at like if you want to punch in touchdowns, he's not even that crazy inside, um, the 50s. I mean, inside the 20s. But Dalvin Cook, I can't believe his fall off. He was one of my favorite players when he was cooking with the Vikings. He was cool to watch. He was always explosive. He'd be riddled with injury, but this would be interesting to see if they'd even try to go after him, considering that Rico Dowdle hasn't been terrible. He's just been banged up a little bit recently, but I don't think the Cowboys should go after Dalvin.
Yeah, I mean, I think when he was originally released, their Cowboys were linked to Dalvin in terms of who he should sign with. Of course, he went with New York with the thought that Aaron Rodgers would be there the whole year. Aaron Rodgers puts the U.S. flag and he's gone. But
That's
I
true.
mean, after that, they didn't really use Dalvin at all. Honestly, I mean, it was just Brees Hall, pretty much because they probably brought Dalvin because they thought Brees Hall could be a little bit slow to recover after
Yeah.
his knee injury. Um, and so I don't really think that the Cowboys need Dalvin in his services right now. I think Dalvin would be better suited for a team like maybe Baltimore or like a team that just kind of just needs more running backs. And I think more about Baltimore lost two running backs this year. Cowboys, I feel like they have a Tony Pollard problem that they can fix before they even go to Dalvin. I don't think that's going to fix their running back issue that I have. If anything, I feel like it's just going to make it worse because you should be giving it the ball to like a worse Tony Pollard. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing. First of all, I think it would be pretty sick to have somebody named Cook and Cooks on the offense. Um, But it's definitely like I'm looking at the duo right now, and I mean, 19th in yards per carry this year for the Cowboys. Dowdle is just kind of the same with Pollard, the kind of speedy running back. This guy could really he kind of slows down the pace a little bit. Dalvin Cook, that is. So he's definitely not Zeke. He wouldn't be the Zeke Pollard duo that we had last year, obviously. But I don't think there's anything that we can fix with Pollard before the playoffs start. This has been a regular occurrence that we just don't have a threat with the run on offense. It's leading to the offense, these defensive playing back and stuff regarding not having us have some big plays. CD Lamb had 17 targets last week. 17. I mean,
Dead.
he's really good, but damn, man, there's really nobody else on this offense that we can really rely on. So I mean, just I think it's adding on. I think that's someone that could kind of help us a little bit. I understand probably not wanting him, having Dowdle just because he's hurt right now. But Dowdle being a good backup running back this year, and he has. But again, I'm just trying to think of different play styles for these teams, or for this team. West Coast offense would also help out Dalvin Cook, I believe, as well, with how McCarthy runs his plays. Um, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna, the Commanders. It's a tough game. It's a tough game to predict. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna really. I don't know if they're really gonna pull through with this. This is gonna be interesting. But I'm gonna move on to the Mavericks real quick. We're gonna move on. We're about 30 minutes into this podcast. I'm gonna talk about Jakob, or not Jakob Pertl. We're gonna play Pertl real quick.
Talking
A
about
lot.
Jacopo is crazy.
He would be really good on this team, though. That was what I was about to say. Like, he's
Bro,
going to be really good for the
anybody.
Mavericks.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
Come on. If it's still Dwight Powell one day, I'm going to lose it,
for
man.
the love of God.
Dude, it is never.
That's
He is so unhelpful, dog.
That's so nasty. The only
Gosh.
thing he gave you was his age.
He is so
What
unhelpful.
the heck? 32.
The only thing he gave you was his
32,
age.
man.
That is hilarious.
Wow.
He's been on the Mavericks since I was in elementary school, dog. I need this dude.
That TJ jersey story gets me every time, bro. That's the funniest thing ever.
So
I still think to this day that Dwight Powell thinks I was his first jersey grab. I got his first jersey. I did not, man. I did not. Don't ever think that. All right. I'm gonna think. Let's go like someone old guard kind of player in the East. I'm gonna go Damian Lillard. No, he's 0.
He's got to be less. He's not less.
He's number 0.
He older than 832, I think too.
You think? All right.
Higher than 7? Higher than 7?
What number do
Brunson like? Brunson's 11, but he's also way younger. I was thinking Brunson. Let's go. Like,
what the yellow mean in terms of age? Like, what's the?
It means he's
range?
Either 31 or 30. They're close.
Okay, bet. Okay.
So I'm gonna go with God, dude. What is this? Tyus Jones? Maybe I don't know.
I don't even know if Tyus Jones. Well, he came out in Duke really.
I don't think he's that old.
Try it.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Try it. No.
Tyus Jones.
Yeah, do Tyus. Tyus might work. I think he came out college.
Holy,
that's a good.
Not bad.
Maybe it was Dinwiddie then.
There's a guard. Dinwiddie. I could see it being Dinwiddie. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Southeastern Conference. He's not Southeastern though. It would be Magic.
Right. He is.
No,
he's on the Nets.
Yeah.
So it's Magic, Hornets, Hawks, or Heat. I don't know if it's anyone on the Heat though. I don't know who they've been picking up. Victor Oladipo?
Nah, I don't know what he's on.
I don't think he's there anymore.
He's on the Heat though. He's on the Heat. I swear he's on the Heat, right?
Like 2 years ago. I don't know if he's still there.
Watch this.
He might be.
Damn, he's on the Rockets now.
I had
his age though. I had his age. It looked right. Damn it, that was a bad guess. My fault.
Terrence Ross is gone.
So it's got to be. Oh man.
Terry Rozier. I don't think Terry Rozier is 31.
Who the hell watches the Hornets, man?
Oh, Terry.
Terry too. Terry could be. No, he's not 31 though. Yeah, he can't be 31. 31, man. This feels like it should like really.
Is Duncan Robinson 31?
Has to be a Heat player. He's not 31.
You think it's It could be him, man, dude. Yeah, I feel like it has to be. I mean, Jimmy Butler. I don't know if they would count him a guard. He's 22.
No way. He's a forward.
6'4", 6'5", 31 years old.
He's like 6'7".
Number 22.
6'8".
They're saying he's a guard. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
You think he's 6?
Yeah.
Hey, you could try.
No. It's not Jimmy. I don't think it's Jimmy. I don't think it's. I gotta try it though. Come on.
Okay.
Sucks. This sucks.
It's gotta be terrible.
Somebody in the 10, the 20s for the numbers.
Magic play. I mean, they all young though. Cole Anthony.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're all young.
That's their 2 guards.
They
might have
Hawks
some in the rotation that I can't think of.
Oh man, we're showing silhouette real quick. Oh, I know exactly who. Is this?
I can't tell who that is at all.
It's a long head.
Is this?
Like a generic.
That's why I like looking at it, man. It gives it away sometimes. It's Bogdan Bogdanovic. That was so easy, bro.
That's
Bogdan Bogdanovic.
When it's a white player and they show the silhouette, man, it's almost locked. Like it's so easy to recognize them sometimes.
But he's cold. He's cold on my fantasy team. He's an easy 35, 40 points every night for fantasy numbers. For anybody who plays fantasy basketball and is interested in that.
Damn. I did not know he was that old, though. That is crazy.
He's pretty old, yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about the Mavericks real quick. Just break down the Dallas or the Utah Jazz game on on January 1st. We play the Trailblazers on January 3rd. This episode will be up by the time that game is played, but we don't know what's going to happen during that game. The Jazz game, we probably all didn't watch a lot of it because we were too busy with the Longhorns game. It kind of contradicted with that, but I did watch a little bit during halftime. Sheesh, man, horrible game, no effort at all from the Dallas Mavericks, especially having a comeback game with Kyrie Irving. I believe Derek Lively was playing in this game. He was. My goodness, man, that was just a huge letdown, especially after beating. I'm sorry, who did they beat before the Jazz? I'm blanking on the name now. They beat the Warriors. Sorry, beat the
Yeah.
Warriors on the road. Very solid victory. Josh Green had a good comeback game. For them to come back here and lose this badly to the Jazz, no help from any of the players who usually help. Dante Exum only played 12 minutes. I don't know why. Tim Hardaway had his normal inconsistent night where he shot 3 for 50 and didn't play much. Josh Green didn't step up. Grant Williams has not looked good. Luka had his first game of under 20 points since November 14th.
Wow.
I know, not. It's pretty crazy to think about that, but just not too good of a game. Obviously, I mean, I just don't like how this team kind of just gives up in the end. I think this team had in the second half they were trailing a little bit, but they just let the Jazz go on huge runs. The same team that we beat by 50 just 2 months ago. Obviously, they didn't have a lot of pieces that game, but man, you just can't. That 87-point swing between two games is pretty insane.
Yeah, this team is inconsistent. I said I wanted to hold off on rating what this team could be until the new year comes, but I guess we could have somewhat of an idea that they're inconsistent. They don't know they don't know what direction they want to go in. They win a game, they drop two. They drop a little losing streak, and they start winning like 3 in a row. But they're just hovering around 500 for some reason when they start to gain some steam. The shooting numbers are bad once again in this game. But the defense, it's been rough majority of the year. It's not what I was looking for at this point of the year, especially against the Utah Jazz, who are still just clawing to get into, the top 6 seeds. And you just have Jordan Clarkson out here putting up triple doubles. I mean, he's never been that guy in his entire career. He's coming off the bench for Utah, and he was cooking us. That's their first triple double, I believe, in 16 years. I thought. Which is kind of crazy to think about. They even had a triple double in 16 years. So
Jordan Clarkson, 10 rebounds, man.
It says a lot when you have Jordan Clarkson getting crashing the glass, getting 10 boards over this team, which is the Mavs outsized them by much, especially when your point guard's picking 6'9". But I mean, overall, this Dallas Mavericks team, man, they got to make up which direction they want to go into because as it stands right now, they're a first-round exit. They're teetering towards being a play-in team, for being honest. But hopefully they can gain some steam. They're not looking good to be even a second-round team in the playoffs.
Ooh, harsh words right there. But hey, he's not wrong though. I mean, right now they're the second seed in the conference. Right now they would be hovering around that playing spot if the season ends today. Luckily, we still got a couple more months. I think this team, before at least the All-Star break, they gotta make some type of they gotta make a move. I know you could touch on it a little bit after this question, but I think that this team they still know their identity. Like Joe said, they don't know their identity. They don't know what they want to be. And when you're this late into the season, or at least we're not close to halfway point, but we're getting close to that All-Star break, that reset. I feel like you kind of know what all these NBA teams are going to be, and they haven't shown that they can be those top echelon contenders in the West. At first, I thought they could at least make it to the second round, maybe. I mean, we kind of all went into the season thinking we didn't think that they're gonna go all the way to the championship, but we at least thought they could make it.
Hey, anything's possible with Luka, man.
Hey, that's true. Anything is possible with Luka. And unfortunately, Luka magic ended. Ended recently. He 19 points, which I mean, you can't expect Luka to be Superman every night. It's just not bad. This wasn't a good day for anybody. But I don't know. I just think that they gotta make some type of move. They gotta change something up. The Josh Green project, he might have to get shipped out for somebody. I mean, but I'm waiting for my answer for another question. You can go ahead.
Well, I mean, you're looking at this team. Yeah, the defense, I really like pointing out the defense. That's just been a huge issue. They haven't allowed less than 110 points since December 6th when they played the Jazz and beat them by 50. I mean, the Mavericks, they just got to figure out something that they're going to do. And I think something that they could really do, which has been gaining ground recently, is trade for Siakam. Pascal Siakam on the Raptors. I think this is interesting because they did just trade OG Anunoby to the Knicks in a weirdly timed trade. But you're looking at this trade and you're looking at the Raptors who have asked for like 5 first-round picks for OG Anunoby in the last 5 years, only getting 1 pick back in this trade. And you're looking at, they asked for players over picks. So it's interesting to see that the Raptors aren't really tanking right now, or at least they're not trying to attempt to tank. And the Mavericks, who don't have draft pick assets like the other teams do, they can make a player trade for Siakam. So I want to ask y'all, I mean, having Pascal Siakam on this team, do y'all think that this team, obviously they'll get better, but do you think this team can put this team or could put it over the top, and what's his impact going to be with the Mavericks?
I mean, I would like that pickup, at least for someone like who can crash the glass a little bit better than what we have it now. He's not like, a glass cleaner like Andre Drummond or something like that because he's going crazy. But he and OG have been guys who have been trade rumors, I feel like, since I was in high school. I mean, it's crazy.
No
Both
doubt,
of it.
definitely.
It's been insane. I mean, OG, I'm glad to see him finally get out of Toronto because he's been trade rumors like since I was in 8th grade. But
Really.
but Pascal, I would like him if he came to the Dallas Mavericks. I wouldn't be mad at that pickup at all. It depends what we give up. Again, I already know it probably involves somewhat of a pick. There's no way they just only have it players.
Have to add a couple picks, yeah.
Because Masai is not taking that up there in the north. But I would like him in the starting lineup for sure. It'd probably bring down, I would say, probably Derek Jones, right? Wouldn't you say? It'd probably be Derek Jones, right? Because I think Pascal and Lively should be in the same starting lineup, and that would be magic to me in the front court, if I'm being honest. But
no, that would be so good for Luka. Perfect pair for Luka, both of those two players.
His shooting stats would be nice for the team, but also his rebounding, because our front court doesn't rebound like well as we thought they would right now. I mean, our team is just not that tall. They're not that physical. Also, we've been saying this all year, but I think Siakam brings that physicality and a little bit of an edge on defense as well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the Mavericks have been looking to upgrade in the front court for like as long as we can remember. Obviously, they did get Lively, but they still kind of need us to live. That's 4 or 3. I think that Pascal Siakam can be that. I mean, they could go 2 ways with the trade. They could probably trade Young. They could probably trade, like I said, Josh Green, probably James Hardy, some other pieces for Siakam if they want to do a player trade. Or they could try to trade their more established veterans like Hardaway and Grant Williams for more of a player trade as well. Probably put a pick in there because I don't know why the Raptors would take Grant Williams and that pick. But I think it's possible. I mean,
That'd be a highway robbery.
He provides a solid 20 points a game. I mean, I think he can fit right into that role with what Luka and Kyrie are doing. I feel like under no circumstances you get rid of Lively. If they get rid of Lively, I mean, that's the whole team. That would be foolish.
I'm revoking my Mavs fanship if he gets rid of Lively, man.
No, there's no way.
I'm losing it. I'm losing it if he trades Lively. That would be the dumbest trade we've ever made. He made a lot of dumb trades. Made a lot of dumb trades.
Yeah, we know Lively would be going for 2020 nights when he's up there.
Dude, he's going for 2020 nights when he's in Dallas, man. We can't give up. We can't give him up. Cannot give him up. He is a future player. So, I mean, I'm hoping they don't do anything stupid just for the sake of contending right now. But, I mean, you're looking at these players. I don't think this happens. First off, the Mavericks, they are they excel at putting out rumors that are usually false. A lot of these times where they send like, oh, look, they're gonna trade for this guy. They never do. They never do. Whenever they make a trade, it's always last second. Nobody. They keep a lot of their inside reports private. And so having something like this where it's like, oh, the Mavericks could trade for him, all this widespread league-wide news that the Mavericks are going after Pascal Siakam, I don't think it happens. Second of all, I don't know if we really do have the players to match with other teams. Of course, it would have. I think automatically, if we were to trade somebody, Tim Hardaway Jr. is in that package, regardless. 100%, he's in that package, just for salary's sake. First of all, but you're just not looking. Josh Green, again, he's not going to look at a good trade piece right now because of just how bad he's been this year. Jaden Hardy, not really enticing right now at all at any teams right now, especially for Toronto. Joe mentioned, I mean, they are a smart team. They know what they're doing. And I mean, man, Jaden Hardy, Josh Green not been doing good. Grant Williams just hasn't been that guy. I don't understand why they would want to pick up Grant Williams either. Somebody that's been really interesting this year that I think could be a really good trade piece is Dante Exum, which is what I said earlier in the year. I think Dante Exum would be a great trade piece. Somebody that could really help beef up because of how he's done so well this year. He's on a 1-year contract that helps them. Siakam's also on his last year of his contract, so you're looking at possibly losing him after this year. It hasn't happened yet. The Mavericks do this a lot. You look at Kristaps and Kyrie; they were able to both sign them long term after the trade. But I mean, you're looking at possibly losing that security with Siakam and losing all these players that I don't know if we really care about Tim Hardaway again. It looks like they like Canadian players. They brought RJ Barrett back home. Why not bring Dwight Powell back home too? That would be a great pickup for them. I mean, come on, it's perfect fit bringing back to Canada. But I don't know, man. I mean, you're looking at this strength of schedule for January. I want to bring this up real quick. I mean, we're playing really good teams. I think this is why it's so important to win these games against teams like Utah and Portland, these next 2 games, because we got Minnesota, we got New York, we got New Orleans twice, Los Angeles, Golden State, Boston, Phoenix. We have Sacramento and Minnesota again. Not to mention Orlando's doing really good this year too, all in January. We're 6th in the league for strength of schedule this month. This is going to be a make or break month for them. I think right now with the team that it's looking like, the inconsistency with this team, the health issues, I just don't think I see this team having a good month. If they want to do something, I think they got to look at some trade pieces. I've mentioned before, I think Jeremy Grant would be another great wing /forward player that we could put on this team. You also have John Collins on the Jazz. I know that he's fallen off a little bit these last few years, but somebody who could be important for us. Just somebody who's not going to be another Reggie Bullock like Grant Williams has been this year. And I don't want to say that Grant Williams is Reggie Bullock, but he's putting up Reggie Bullock stats. He's doing exactly what Reggie Bullock would do. And he's been no improvement at all this year. In fact, he just looks lazy out there sometimes. But I mean, I don't want to get on Grant Williams.
We need to post that on
He's an
the
Eagles
Instagram
fan too.
Grant Williams.
Oh no, he's too nice.
He would respond too. I mean, he's always active on social media.
Did y'all see what I sent about
he might just respond.
Did y'all see what I sent about the Eagles jersey? Like his numbers before and after that he's had the Eagles jersey, like the press conference.
Yes.
Do you remember that? That he was cooking before
Eagles.
that, after he put that on with the big grin after they beat us earlier in the year.
Not to mention the Eagles have been bad too since then.
The Grant Williams curse.
So I mean, I wish he could step it up. I don't think he's a trade piece right now. I think he could be a very important player on a playoff run. Look at him in Boston last year. He really helped them. He might have lit the fire with Miami in that series, but overall he played decently good. So I don't know. Do y'all want to talk anything else about the Mavericks? Any other comments about the Mavericks from y'all?
I just hope they get it going. I know Jason Kidd has been a little bit a little restless with how the media has treated the Mavs, how they don't quote unquote give them credit where it's due, and when they do good and only focus on the negative. But man, like, look at this team, bro. I mean, I don't know how you see this and not criticize. what's going on. I mean, the defense is awful. I mean, everybody just gets to waltz into the paint. There's no good rebounding. I think there's room to grow plenty for this team. They have a good few months left, like Courtney said, but the time is ticking, man. Playoffs are nearing. I don't want to be a play-in team again. It's time. We have enough, pieces to be a legit 1-6 team. Honestly, a team 1-4, and we're just not
I
living up to
believe
the
so.
potential right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe so, man. Look at the rebounding shouldn't be an issue in my opinion, I think. I think Grant Williams is a good rebounder. He's been doing a good job rebounding. Derek Lively's obviously a number one rebounder for this team. Derek Jones Jr. and Dwight Powell. I'll always say this about Dwight Powell, man. That dude can jump out the building. He's super athletic, man.
He
There's
looks
no
like a
reason.
freak, bro, an athletic
Yeah, there's
freak.
no reason he shouldn't be able to rebound more than he does. And the same with Derek Jones Jr. He doesn't rebound that well either. He's only averaging 3.5 rebounds per game for 25 minutes. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, you are the probably one of the highest verts in the NBA. I'm really hoping he could pick it up with the rebounding. But I mean, damn, man, it is there's just a lot of issues with this team. We knew about this going into this season. Last season, we had so many issues that we didn't even make the play-ins, and the Mavericks offseason wasn't too much of a they didn't really change the tide too much with how they how they had their offseason, only signing Grant Williams, signing decent players like Dante Exum and Derek Jones, who've been way better than anyone expected. So I mean, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting month for the Dallas Mavericks for sure. For sure.
Indeed, interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. So I'm going to move on
boy.
to the Dallas Stars just real quick. Does anyone want
Canada.
to think about the Dallas Stars?
Tough loss last night. I actually peeked into it. I don't usually watch a crazy amount of Stars games, but they were cooking until these past few games. Then the Canadians just came rolling in, which I did not expect them to put up the fight they did so early too. They were leading 2-1 after the first period, I believe. That was kind of crazy to watch. I'm not sure what was going on with the actual technicalities of the game. TJ, you know better than I do, but that was kind of a crazy game to see the Canadians scoring like that after we didn't expect
bro. I
them.
was like, the Canadians, bro. Like, how we lose to Canadians, bro? That's how I felt.
I mean, besides that little fluke run they had during COVID, bro. Like, I'm not sure. Like, was it COVID? When they made the Stanley Cup again?
Yeah, it was COVID.
Yeah,
this is the COVID year after the bubble.
I mean, they've been mid for a long time.
Oh,
I'm not sure
they've been mid. They've just been downright ass.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
They've been bad. So I mean, I don't know, dude. I'll tell you the technicalities. First of all, Scott Wedgwood just had a horrible night, which is not likely for him. He was actually first in goalie save percentage for last week. So not a good game for him. This is the 6th game in a row that the Dallas Stars have outshot their opponent. They've only gone 4-2 in those games. They need to go 6-0 in those games. I mean, they really did dominate. First of all, I want to say my first take about the Stars last night is what I realized is that playing without a goalie is what they need to do. Just all 60 minutes. Just go 6v5 the entire 60 minutes, man. They are so good 6v5. They had it for the last 4 minutes and 4.5 minutes. They were at an empty net. If you don't know hockey that well, you are allowed to pull the goalie for an extra attacker at any point of the game. All teams do it whenever they're down by a goal or two with a couple minutes left. And usually it ends up with an empty net goal for the other team. It's usually not successful, but it's a last-ditch desperate attempt. But the Stars have been so good at it. They were down 3 goals with 4 minutes left, and were able to score 2 goals, and were able to damn near score like 3 more goals in that span if they wanted to. They were so close to scoring so many times. I mean, it was a tough game. A lot of the first line didn't show up until the empty net situation. Miro had a tough game, which I do want to talk about Miro. I know, talking about undeserving players, the Dallas Mavericks being undeserving. Miro Heiskanen and the Dallas Stars, man, they are so undeserving. I want to talk about Miro Heiskanen because, the Norris Trophy, the best defensive player of the year, hasn't been able to get it so far in his career. But I mean, you look at him and he's arguably up with some of the best defensive players that, every single year. You look at Erik Karlsson from last year. He was just as good. Erik Karlsson was on a bad team. You're looking at Cal McCarr, Roman Yossi, Victor Hedman. some of these players that have won in the past. I think Miro Heiskanen matches up perfectly with them. The only problem is that he plays for a Southern team, and also not to mention, he doesn't have those stats that point out. He doesn't have stats that point out that this has become kind of an offensive award. It's become an offensive award for the defensive players.
That's
crazy.
Yeah,
they usually pick the guy who has the most points. They said 7 out of the last 10 years they've picked the guy with the most points for the defensive best player of the year. So you look at Miro Heiskanen, man, he doesn't really point out like that. He only has 22 assists. He has 4 goals, 26 points on the year. He's only 14th among defenders. But I mean, look, first of all, I want to look at this real quick. So he is first and by far first in the league and getting I'm talking about defense here, like real defense in hockey that, these NHL award pickers don't want to really look at. But you're looking at zone exit per 60 minutes.
You had to pull it up.
Entry. Yeah, I've got it right here. Entry defense game score per 60 minutes. So getting it out of their zone and getting it into our zone, Miro Heiskanen is by far first in this pie chart. Or not pie chart, sorry. Statistics was a long time ago. This chart right here, this Y and X-axis chart, he is by far the very far first in line right here. Shows that he's a cut above arrest in the terms of preventing opponents from gaining territory in the blue zone for ours and getting into the zone for the Dallas Stars. I'm also looking at, power play situations. He's so dominant in that power play situation. You're looking at the first line of Rupe Hentz, Jason Robertson, and Joe Pavelski in those power plays who've been so dominant. And you're looking at, those are really, really talented players, but it takes a really talented defensive player to get that zone or to get into that zone and to give the puck to those players to get those breakaways going. He's so smooth. I think he deserves to be in the talk this year. I don't know if he will be because of just the points. The points are so important in NHL. Scoring and all that. You also look at his plus minus, who hasn't been that good. But if you're a real hockey fan, you understand that plus minus is a stupid stat in hockey. So I don't know. It's just a tough look, but I think he deserves to be in the talk. Again, I just don't think he will. And I do want to say real quick, where do the Stars rank among contenders? I don't know. I put that into the outline. I want to talk about it because it's an interesting look. The Stars, they've given up a lot of goals. They've given up 111 goals on this year, which is pretty high compared to the other opponents. They also have less regulation wins than most opponents do, which going into the playoffs, you're going to have 5v5 in overtime. You're not going to have the 3-on-3, which has been just magic for the Stars. It's usually the opposite. So, you're looking at this right now, and they just don't look too good. This team is just so talented, top to bottom. This team just has so much talent, so much speed, so much so much puck ability that this team has. And it's insane that they just can't find a way to win games, man. The defense has just been kind of tough, not been too good, allowing a lot of goals again. 111 goals allowed. Jake Oettinger hasn't just been too good. But if you get Jake Oettinger back and he's playing like he usually does, you get the defense, maybe add an extra defensive player at the deadline. I think this team has a really good chance of really pushing really far into the playoffs. I don't know if they're better than Colorado right now. They'll play Colorado tonight, which is going to be an interesting game. But, they tend to lose against Colorado. But, you're looking at Vegas right now struggling. Vancouver is top of the West right now, which we just beat recently. Outplayed them pretty well, actually, I think, in that game. Winnipeg doesn't scare me at all. Winnipeg is right there with us. They're actually ahead of us by 2 points. LA is an interesting one. Of course, they're always kind of there, but never really pushing too far. I think the Stars have a really good chance to really push it in the West this year. Edmonton's really struggled. Edmonton's always a scary team for me because of just how good they are with scoring, and they always just seem to kill us with Connor McDavid. I'm really looking at this right now. The West is wide open for the Stars, and they've always been a good playoff team. They've always showed up in the playoffs. I think this is a really, really, really good time of the year, a really good year for the Stars to make a push. I think this is a Stanley Cup year for the Stars. I don't know if it's a
Ooh.
win, but I think they make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to guarantee it. They make it to the Stanley Cup Finals this year just because they've been a little bit more consistent than past years. Of course, losing to the Canadiens last year doesn't give me too much hope, but I mean, and how they've played against good teams this year, especially Vegas and Colorado. But I mean, you're looking at playoffs as a completely different game, especially in hockey. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. We're gonna ignore that.
Are they gonna go with the Stanley Cup being first in the division? Because I mean they've taken a tumble.
I don't think so. I think Colorado can take it, but Colorado has, it's tough with Colorado. They're a really good playoff team whenever they're healthy, but they're usually not healthy. So it's going to come down to Colorado and Dallas. I think that's going to be Colorado and Dallas for the it's going to be semifinals because I don't think it's possible for the two division opponents to play in the Western Conference Finals. I could be wrong. But I think those are the top two teams in the West. I think those are the teams that are going to chase after it. It's very hard to repeat in hockey. The Tampa Bay just did it, though. So I don't know if Vegas can really do it. I don't know. It's going to be tough. They've been struggling a lot recently. So I'm going to say Dallas, Colorado, top two teams in the West. Dallas wins it. Okay? I'm just saying it right now. I'll lock it in right now. That's going to end it for the Stars talk, though. We'll see how they play against Colorado tonight. Be a very interesting game. See if they can finally get over that hump of beating the good teams this year. We're going to move on to the betting lines. I want to talk about the Commanders-Cowboys game. Dallas, first of all, -13. They are projected to win by 13 points. It's almost 2 touchdowns. I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that covers? It's a pretty big cover.
I'm scared, but I think it covers.
Really?
This Washington team. I mean, this is not the same defense we saw on the last week, last season. They basically sold everybody away. I think their D line is just not good anymore. I think we can at least run the ball better against them now. We dominate these dudes on Thanksgiving, man. So when we look at it like that, I know I had some high praise for Sam Howell after that game, and y'all were like, wonder I was going crazy. I think you were justified now. After that Jets game, I think you were justified in your reaction to why I was saying that. But, I mean, Jacoby Brissett, I've seen him throw the ball accurately. I just don't think it's going to be his type of day. I think the Cowboys are going to be motivated to get the second seed and clinch the division and have the NFC East streak keep rolling because, I mean, I said this last week, history's on our side. So I guess it worked out in our favor.
I mean, they lost. The Commanders lost in shape for a reason. I mean, they number 2 right now at the season in this draft order.
That was straight
So
pretty crazy.
I think they know that, and I think that they're going to this game. And even though the Cowboys are a division rival, there's no way they want to win. Like they're trying to get Drake May or somebody. So yeah, I'm gonna go. That's definitely gonna cover.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to cover. I think that they could beat them up. I think they could, but I think maybe they make a last-ditch attempt and maybe make it like a 7-point game in the end. Because I don't know, man. The defense, just hasn't looked too strong. The Cowboys' offense hasn't scored over 20 points in the last 3 weeks. If they did, they scored 21, I think, against Miami, 20 against Detroit, 10 against Buffalo. Their offense hasn't been too good. This is an away game. They struggled against Washington away last year. I think they do win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think, if anything, they could blow them out in the first half, but the Washington gets it in the second half. They just don't have any weapons, man, and their defense is just so outrageously horrendous. My goodness, they're horrible. So, I mean, I could see it. But I'm going to go under for it. The over-under right now is set at 45.5 points. Do you think it goes over or under for this game?
Over, and I think we're going to carry the bulk of it. Like we said, the defense is just not good for the Washington. I think we score at the very least 30 points. So I don't think Washington has a lot to do, but I think it's going to be over.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a little under because I think I've been going over a lot, and I don't think it's been hitting. So I'm gonna go under for this one. I think they're gonna carry the bulk of the low, but I think they're just gonna hit like a little below it.
I think it could go over. I think the Commanders could give us some points. And also, I think that the Cowboys do. I think scoring 30 is very possible for this team right now. A good get back before the playoffs. Something to watch though is that they could start resting their players if they start, getting a 2, 3, or 3 score lead. Plus, they might put their starters away, put their backups in because it is the last week before the playoffs. But who knows? I think the Cowboys could really, put the pedal to the metal and really, get some points up in this game, get some big plays. So I'll go over for that. We're going to go next to Dak Prescott throwing yards. He's at 281 and a half right now. What do y'all think? Over or under for that?
It's a tough one. 281 and a half.
I know. It is a tough one.
The thing is, I think the run game does better. So I don't think Dak has to throw like 280 at this point. So I think it'll be a slight under, actually.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go run game, alright, but I'm gonna go under. I hope Tony Pollard can. I mean, it's not like he's facing a crazy defense anymore, so I hope Tony Pollard can at least do something before the playoffs. So I'm gonna go under as well, just because they're probably gonna try to rest Dak a little bit. They're probably not gonna let him do too much.
I could see him resting them a little bit. I'm going to go over just for the hell of it. He went for 345 last week. He went for 331 against the Commanders earlier this year. To be honest, the only time he's gone over 281 on a road game was Philadelphia, which he went for 374. So he doesn't really throw too much on away games. But I'm going to go over for this sake. Let's go ahead and just say that the Cowboys score a lot of points, but the Commanders kind of keep up with them a little bit, and Dak's got to throw it because they can't trust Tony Pollard to put the game away or the offensive line because they always, they get those convenient third down holds,
They screw him a little bit.
So we're going to go to Jacoby Brissett. His throwing yards a little bit lower at 247 and a half. Still pretty high, though, I think. Do y'all think over or under?
This is interesting because this past defense has had a rough go of it the past few games. Even though they've been much better defensively in the red zone, which I've appreciated. But Jacoby Brissett, 247, I think he'll get the bulk of that in the fourth quarter. I think he'll be hanging around 200 for the majority of the game. But fourth quarter is where he'd eventually get a garbage time touchdown if it's a blowout. So I think he can get over on that.
Yeah, I think they're probably just gonna have him throwing a whole bunch of empty calorie throws, just trying to hope they tanking, but they tanking. So I'm gonna go over. They're probably gonna end up losing, but I think he'll have he'll probably throw a lot.
I mean, the Washington cooked with the play calling last week against the Cowboys when they had nothing to lose, man. They were just cooking up, man. They were having some great read options with Sam Howell. They were going crazy. I think, having Jacoby Brissett out there, he doesn't have the running ability like Sam Howell. I think they're just going to throw deep, man. I think he gets there. I think he gets those yards. I think they're just going to say, man, fuck it. McClare or, Scary Terry's just going to be down there somewhere, just throw it down there. They do have a decent wide receiver squad, though. Curtis Samuel ain't bad either. Dotson, not pretty good for a slot receiver, too.
Dotson hasn't been what I thought he'd be coming out of college, to be honest.
Kind of true.
I thought he was going to be eventually the number one, but man.
Same.
Yeah, it's still somehow Scary Terry, man. Still Scary Terry somehow. So let's go ahead. Last one I have is Tony Pollard. We're going to have over under for rushing yards. It's at 67 and a half, y'all. What do y'all think over under on this?
Before I answer that, you realize this dude's at 935 rush yards? You realize how insane that is?
He's not even going to get the 1K.
It's the quietest 935 I've ever seen. So this extra game is going to really help him. I think they can possibly get over and finally have a 1K season. I think he has 75, 80 yards because this run defense gives up 126 and a half rush yards per game. So this should be favoring us. I think Tony can have a good game. Maybe he's a good game going into the playoffs. So
yeah, first I was going to say no, but then he said 120-something yards. And the last time he faced him, he had about 70-something, 80 something like that. He had a good game last time they faced the Commanders. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go over, but I just want to let him know that it's not real. It's fake stats. This game is fake stats. He needs to actually do it when it matters in 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go over, but he needs to know that he needs to step up.
I'll go under for this just in case. Maybe we pick up Dalvin Cook in the end because we are the favorites to sign him right now, and we go,
Really?
we go 2-2. He did score. He had his best game against the Commanders this year. I guess you could say the Cardinals, but they just gave him the ball like crazy against Arizona. He had 6.1 yards per carry against the Commanders last time we played on Thanksgiving. But 67, man, he hasn't reached that since Seattle on November 30th. Just overall, his carries have gone down a little bit as well. He did have a good amount of carries last week against Detroit, but just didn't have any impact on the game. I think right now, I'm gonna go under for it. I don't think it's gonna be far from 67.5. I think he'll get to 60 at least. I just don't know. I think it'll be really close. I'll go under. So that's it for the betting lines. That's all we have for it. I'm going to go real quick, answer the trivia just real quick. Who do y'all think it was? Who got the fumble recovery against Green Bay, the one and only turnover? I thought the game was over when this happened. I like briefly remember it.
I don't remember this play at all because all I remember is the DeMarco Murray fumble, and then I remember the
Marco Murray fumble was pretty bad.
Didn't catch it play, but I think it was Barry Church. I want to think it's Barry Church. You said
Barry
Jacksonville,
Church.
so I feel like it's Barry Church.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. At first, I thought I was confident in oh my god, I definitely know his answer. But yeah, the only person I can think of is Barry Church, and I don't think Barry Church did it. And I feel like he's more known as a Cowboy, even though he had good years when he started the Jags. I'm gonna have to go Barry Church.
That's what I'm trying to think of. I can't think of any Cowboys Jags players besides him. I feel like it had to be Barry Church. So
it's probably some random guy on the D line.
Yeah, it was a random guy. It's Jeremy Mency. He had 6 sacks that year. Actually, he did pretty good.
What?
Jeremy Mency.
Yeah,
okay.
If I got that, you wouldn't know that I was cheating.
Jerry.
No, there's no way in hell I would have gotten that. I just wanted. I didn't know, man. I was last second because I was like, I feel like I should do something about DeMarcus Lawrence because that was his breakout game. But it's like they know everything about D-Law. It's like he's still on the team.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't know, man. I had to put some a guy that barely anybody's gonna remember. He was pretty good for our team that year, though. He didn't really play that much afterwards for us, though. He played a little bit in 2015, but that was a tanking year, so he was gone after that.
Almost a 10-year career. I did not know that.
Hey, he was pretty good. He was round 6, by the way. Round 6 drafted in the 6th round, so pretty impressive for him. But gonna end the episode now. Probably our longest episode ever. I don't know if we've gotten this long before. I put a lot in the outline. I'm not gonna lie. I was ready to talk, man.
We were yapping
session,
2 yaps
bro.
in a row. 2 yaps in a row.
2 in a row. So if anyone's still awake watching this, man, at 73 minutes in, I got my socials right here, tj.krilowic for Instagram, tj_Krilowic for Twitter. Y'all go ahead and plug your socials in real quick.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Joseph_Duffy99, at Joseph_DUFFEY99. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. X.
You can follow my Instagram at clivesdalife, and then my Twitter is going to be C_Machani, which I need to start using more because I'm on that Twitter account since August. But, I'm going to get back on it, so all my Twitter fans,
Yeah, for sure, not on Twitter,
yeah. We'll be back, bro. We'll be back, my Twitter fans.
All right, so there's the social accounts for us. And, of course, you can follow the 214 Sports Show on those accounts as well, at 214 Sports Show for all socials. You have Twitter or Twitter/X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. You can follow us and subscribe to us on Spotify and YouTube. We'll post there weekly every Thursday around 11 o'clock in the morning. We've been lacking a little bit with the times. But we Joe over here working 40-hour weeks, man. So it's kind of hard.
This one for sure is gonna be out on Thursday, though.
The man's got me down, bro. The man is beating me up.
He's got you, man. Wally's got you.
Oh my god. They working like a dog.
Hey man, it's dude. I could never work retail, man. But I know a lot of people who could never.
Did you lose him?
Oh no, he froze. No, he better have a
Oh
he better have a
man.
good joke. I feel like it was a DoorDash joke. I feel like it was a DoorDash joke.
Hey, you better
Oh,
say something crazy.
I know a lot of people can't work delivery.
Let me go
Oh
find out what he said.
no.
Well,
Thank you
I
for
guess we gotta
joining the
call the show.
214 Sports Show. His
Well,
laptop
I
died.
never,
His laptop died.
I ain't
He
never done it
said,
before. I'm gonna close it out. I ain't never done it before. Thank you everyone for joining the 214 Sports Show. Make sure to follow all our socials at 214 Sports Show on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, wherever else we on YouTube, Spotify. Go Cowboys.
"Hey
Longhorns
man,
gonna be back. Rangers here. Stars here. Mavs, man. All right, let's go. I'm gonna catch y'all next week.
see y'all."
Peace.